gotten back-to-back overtime wins for the Temple Owls. They're in their road red uniforms. It's the home whites for the Bulls. Your officials, KB Burdett, Will Howard, Patrick Evans. We are underway, and Temple controls the opening tip. How will the Owls make up those 22-plus points? The first bucket of the game is an early answer. Baba Duradola with the first two.
And if you see that, you see him go that hard, that quick, that decisive, that's big for Temple.
Here come the Bulls. That's 4 in white. Kobe Knox in the corner. And the first three is good. Jaden Reed opens the scoring for USF.
He has improved as a catch-and-shoot shooter so much in a year's time in this program at South Florida.
Number 55, Shane Dezzoni, taking the place of Mashburn Jr. in Adam Fisher's starting 5. Here he is with the ball, 55 in red. Don't be fooled by the size of Steve Settle. He could shoot the long ball, and we will see that tonight. Mason Jennings takes it strong to the hole and draws the first foul of the night. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
And that's great action, Rich. South Florida's at their best when they're running, when they're throwing it ahead. Not necessarily taking quick threes, but attacking. They got a reversal. They turn the corner, which is something they are so good at doing, turning to the right, get a foul.
There's Ben Fletcher, took over as interim head coach at USF. Part of Amir Abdur-Rahim's staff the last 4 years, 3 at Kennesaw State, and last season here at USF. And when the Bulls won the American regular season title last year, Ben Fletcher was right next to the man they called AAR when he won the Coach of the Year award in this conference.
Well, there's a lot of people that would look at Amir Abdur-Rahim as one of their very best friends, and there's certainly Ben Fletcher is the same breath as that. And I know Amir felt so strong about him having him as part of his staff.
Jennings 1 for 2 from the free throw line. It's a 4-2 USF lead.
I like when South Florida jumps in this press after makes or after free throws. Keeps them aggressive early.
Here's Duradola going to work again. The youngster almost turned it over. Dezzoni in the paint, gets fouled and will go to the line.
Dezzoni's an aggressive player. I mean, he played out east at Brewster Academy. He started his career at Vanderbilt. I mean, he's one of those guys, he's unafraid of the contact. He has no trouble creating situations in that lane and forcing you to make a decision if you're going to challenge the shot or challenge his body.
Zoni, a 73% free throw shooter, knocks down the first. It's a decidedly different Temple Owls club when they're playing in Philadelphia at the Liacouras Center. Undefeated this year, but on the road and on neutral courts, 4-8, 4 games under 500. They get an offensive rebound, and they miss the 3. Here comes Adam Okoye. And now Reed, one of the quickest guards in the country, gives it up, and that's the second 3 of the night already. This one off the hands of Quincy. Adam Okoye, who spent his first 2 years at Temple.
He did, and he has improved so much as a shooter. 63% of Quincy's shots are 3-point shots.
Aiden Tobiasen with the ball, guarded by the smaller Reed. Now they give it up in the post. A concerted effort to work down low, but they come up empty. And now Reed, a transition 3, short.
That's where Reed, he falls back a little bit. When he misses right now off the dribble, it's usually because there's a little bit of a fade. But that's where South Florida's at their best, throwing the ball ahead on the break.
Here's a long 3 by Quante Berry, his first shot off the mark. Tobiasen, the rebound and the putback, a chance for a 3-point play for the freshman out of Wilmington, Delaware.
And if you're Adam Miller right now, irregardless of where the score is in the time of the game, you love your aggressiveness of going inside, throwing it inside, being on the offensive board. Excellent finish right there. He has the contact. We always say you finish with your eyes. So even as he's getting the contact there on the hit, he kept his eyes up on the rim as the contact came and got it to go through.
Aiden Tobiasen getting some extra minutes in the absence of Jamal Mashburn Jr. Just 14 minutes a game so far this season. But with that bucket and that free throw, Tom, he has now nearly doubled his season scoring average.
I like him. I've loved studying him on film. I think there's a lot there for a freshman. He's 6'5", 195, and he's fearless.
Here's Knox, nearly turned it over. And now the freshman, C.J. Brown. He could be electric in the paint.
Hey, there might be two better guards in the country together, but there are not two quicker guards than Jaden Reed and C.J. Brown together. No question about it. The speed is unreal.
C.J. Brown, at the beginning of this year, said, every time I put on this USF uniform, I want to make Coach proud, and he's talking about Amir Abdur-Rahim.
Well, Amir was so excited to sign him, and you look at this. He can change direction. He gets a spin, gets in the lane, lays it up. His ability to change direction, play off either hand with that speed at that age is really, really high level.
Now it's Dezzoni back at the line, went 1 for 2 in his first trip, and he cans the first one.
Right now, the discipline defensively of South Florida is not where it needs to be. They're buying shot fakes. They're fouling. They need better verticality inside. They don't need to buy shot fakes. Right now, if you're Temple, you're feeling real good about the way this game has started without Jamal Mashburn in the game.
You might have just seen number 5 in white, Brandon Stroud, check in. That's a good sign for Bulls fans. He's missed some time with injuries, but he's going to get extra playing time now that Deontay Green, the Florida State transfer, is out for the season with a foot injury.
We have Jamille Reynolds in right now, too. He was fully capable, started his career at Temple, went to Cincinnati. Great finish.
And right on cue, Jamille Reynolds with the two-hand flush.
Well, that's what they need from him. I mean, he's certainly better than what he did against Florida Atlantic the other day. And I know he was coming off being sick, but he's capable. And when you're a big in this league like this, you've got to show that.
Harry looked good off his hands, but it's short. They get the offensive board. Settle can't cash in. And here comes Stroud leading the break. Knox thought about the 3. Instead, they go inside to the big man Reynolds.
This is where they got to keep spacing, look for cutters on the weak side. There it is.
Inside out, Stroud, left-handed 3 from the wing.
Brandon Stroud was one of the original signees for Amir when he was at Kennesaw State with Chris Youngblood, with Kason Jennings. Brandon Stroud is one of the true believers and followed him, obviously, to South Florida. It's great to see him back in the lineup.
There's more than a few of those who made the trip from Kennesaw State to USF. An air ball up ahead. It's Knox, and it's showtime in Tampa.
I've said it 3 times. Let me make it 4. When they're throwing it ahead, South Florida is a really, really good fast break basketball team.
We came in thinking that Temple was the offense to watch. Right now, USF is scorching hot on a 7-0 run. They've made 4 of their last 4 from the field. Timeout on the floor, 15:50 to go, and USF is doubling up the Temple Owls, Coach.
Well, I like Jamille Reynolds. He stays ready inside of this. He's ready. He's got his hands ready. C.J. Brown delivers it, 2-hand flush. And look at Brown, makes the kick out to Brandon Stroud. One thing South Florida's improved upon tremendously is being ready to shoot. And there they are at their best. Throwing it ahead, Kobe Knox, dunk.
Even when U.S. Women's National Team forward Mallory Swanson isn't on the field, she always makes the perfect play. Thanks to the Bank of America Customized Cash Rewards Visa Card, she'll earn 3% cash back on her purchase after choosing the online shopping category.
Sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all in the all-new Nissan Murano.
Ooh, stuffed up again?
So congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Just Sinex? Breathe. What is... Wow. Sinex? Breathe. Ah.
Fellas, we won because you guys loved each other. We won because you committed to each other. We won because when times got hard, man, y'all dudes ain't back down. These tears of joy, dog. These are tears of joy right here.
That man, Amir Abdur-Rahim, played with passion, he coached with passion, and he won with passion. A number of his family members in attendance tonight. We're glad you're joining us on ESPN2 alongside the coach, Tom Crean. I'm Rich Hollenberg inside the Yuengling Center. And he learned a lot about coaching from his time on the Georgia staff with you. What was he like as a coach and to work with on that staff?
Well, he's worked with so many great guys. Billy Kennedy is like a second father to him. Steve Prohm, I was just so blessed to have him for a year. He helped me so much. And that first year we had Nick Claxton on that team. There's no way we get Anthony Edwards at Georgia without the working relationship that he helped build in there. But what I loved about Amir every day is no matter where we were at in our winning and our losing, he was the same guy. And he was uplifting. He cared about me. We cemented our friendship early on in that, our family's friendship early on in that. And I don't ever remember Amir having a bad day coaching with me. And maybe I caused some bad days, but he never showed it.
I know his wife Ari's here. I know your wife Joni is here. They are still in touch constantly and obviously making numerous trips to visit with each other. And here's a couple of looks, and the one on the left especially I love. He's got your ear on the right, Coach, and not many people do. But on the left, you could tell the two of you were in sync on the sidelines.
Those were great to see those, and they really were. And last week we had the great honor of going to Grand Friends Day for their middle child, Lana, and my wife Joni and I, and then taking her and little Aiden to McDonald's and to a music lesson and then back home. And there's no bigger fans of this program than Ari and her family. There is no doubt about that. So you're up there clapping now.
There is some magic in the air tonight.
There is.
So far, the USF Bulls are 4 for 5 from three-point land.
Well, they're getting great looks. They're making the next pass, and they're throwing the ball ahead on the break and not rushing when it's not there.
There's an answer of a three from Aiden Tobiasen. He has an early 6.
Yeah, he might be heading for a career high tonight, the way he's shooting the ball. But again, I love his film. His shot is nice. It's compact.
Stroud slipped, and it's going to be a USF turnover. Well, Adam Fisher in his second year in Temple. Before that, 6 years as Jim Larenega's top lieutenant at Miami. Fisher led the Owls to that stirring run to the American Tournament title game last year. 4 wins in 4 days in his first season as a head coach. And he's followed it up with much more improvement this year from that team last year.
Very sure of himself, fantastic young coach, been raised by outstanding people in the coaching profession, namely Jim Larenega. There's no doubt he's got a great future.
That one rolls off the rim. Tobiasen all over the place in the early moments. There's a 3 from Elijah Gray, and the 3s are dropping from both baskets.
We knew today when Jamal Mashburn, the junior, may not play, that guys like Elijah Gray were going to have to come in and really be contributors. And then when Jamal was not out here tonight, it intensifies it even more.
Here's the big man, Jamille Reynolds, hometown boy, grew up in St. Petersburg, about 30 minutes south of here. Soft touch off the back iron. Scramble for the loose ball, and there's one of those Kennesaw State transfers, Brandon Stroud, doing the dirty work.
And that's one of his great strengths. Brandon Stroud is a baseline player. He's added the 3 over a period of years, but he's a winner. He defends, but he gets on that glass, and he's unafraid to go at it on the offensive board.
Well, we talked about Brandon coming over, so did Kaysen Jennings and Quincy Adamakoya. Ben Fletcher, the interim head coach, of course, was at Kennesaw State 3 years with Coach Abdur-Rahim. And remember, ironically enough, they're playing the Owls tonight. The Kennesaw State Owls made that improbable run to an NCAA tournament just a few short years ago.
One of the greatest coaching jobs I ever personally witnessed. It was a little bit from afar, but I watched it. Zamir's first year at Kennesaw, he won 1 game.
1 game.
He won 1 game. And you would have never known it. When I would get practice tape or go to a game, you would never have known that, watching the way he was running his team. He got down when he would make phone calls, and certainly to me and to his friends and to his brother Sharif. But he never took that to his team. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons he became the coach he is and the way he turned the program at Kennesaw.
And I thought it was really touching when we talked to Ben Fletcher earlier today about his mentor, his friend, Amir Abdur-Rahim. And we knew there was going to be a lot of emotion tonight inside the Yuengling Center. There was a video that they're showing, and he said, I showed the team the video already so that when we're in a timeout and they play it here tonight in the gym, the players could stay locked in, because that's what a Coach Raheem would want.
Absolutely, and I think Ben said it best. Everybody goes through it at different times. He even mentioned the fact sometimes he's got to go in and close his door for 50 minutes. I felt it all day long, and I hadn't been back in the building since we had his memorial service in here shortly after he passed away. And I'm not with him every day like these guys were. I think everybody has just got to have such a level of empathy and support and care for what these young people are going through, because they came to South Florida, but they came to play for him, right? They came because of the way Amir made them feel about where they could go. And that's so important that they're getting all the support they need. The school's been great at that, but they're playing a college basketball season at the highest level under the grieving process.
So after that timeout to discuss things over, it's USF basketball. They lead by 3, 13-20 to go in the first half. Corey Walker on the floor now, the big man with the touch in the paint. And the Tennessee transfer has his first 2.
That's big. He's been away for a bit. He's back in the game. And that's another guy that came to play with Amir. So important that he could get himself started here in this game and get back into ingrained with his teammates.
Playing some defense on the other end. Here's Reed in the open court, but he turned it over.
Yeah, not a good choice. You got to cross that, get to the middle of the floor, dribble it back out.
And in transition, it's Zion Stanford with his first 2, the Philly native.
Yeah, that's the plays that Jaden Reed's got to break, because he's really grown as a point guard. But you're not a great point guard if you're not a great decision maker, and that was a poor decision.
Both teams playing short-handed, short benches tonight. Stroud can't get it to go from the mid-range.
I like the change of defense. This is where you've got to get some ball screens, get the ball into the middle if you're South Florida, not settle for jumpers.
And one opportunity for Zion Stanford. So back-to-back buckets for the sophomore out of Philadelphia.
What I like about Zion Stanford, he can finish with either hand. This is a great drive. He gets the spin, comes back. He ends up scoring it with his right hand, but he could have easily shot that with his left. He knows how to draw contact. He's got a really good feel. And he's getting 26% of his points in the paint.
Known as a really good finisher, and he showed it there. He's averaging 15.5 a game in his last 2. Tonight, they'll be calling on Stanford to score even more in the absence of the number 2 scorer in the nation, Jamal Mashburn Jr.
Very likely see some press back to that zone right now until South Florida decides that they're going to get the screening game going, get a little bit more movement.
There's the mini monster mash. Jamal Mashburn, his dad, averaged, just about 19 a game in his NBA career, an illustrious NBA career.
His dad behind the bench, so I see him back there. Richard Pitino Jr. did a fantastic job with Jamal Mashburn Jr. over the time that he had him in Minnesota and New Mexico. He's gone from being so much more than a scorer. He delivers the ball, plays with his eyes up. He'll make the open pass.
The tip back, no good. Tantalizingly close. We have a tie ball game. Temple's got a chance to take its first lead of the game. Here's Dezzoni. 2 feet in the paint. Can't get it to go. Reynolds snares the rebound and leads the break.
So Reynolds got to be a presence in the paint. There you go. Flash in. Get the screen, flash in, be big, get the ball reversed.
And a foul on the floor. We have a timeout on the floor, 11-14 to go. We are knotted up in 21 in this American Conference tilt. USF and Temple, emotions running high inside the Yuengling Center, and we could feel it.
Even when U.S. women's national team forward Mallory Swanson isn't on the field, she always makes the perfect play. Thanks to the Bank of America customized cash rewards Visa card, she'll earn 3% cash back on her purchase after choosing the online shopping category.
Goes on.
sometimes the greatest rush
Goes on.
is not rushing at all in the all-new Nissan Murano.
Ooh, stuffed up again?
So congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Just Sinex, breathe. What is... Wow. Sinex, breathe.
You know, many college basketball fans wouldn't know that Temple is one of only 7 college programs with 2,000 career wins. They passed that plateau earlier this season, and now they are shoulder to shoulder with Kentucky and Kansas and UCLA and Duke and North Carolina and Syracuse. But they are a proud basketball program that goes back decades, and now Adam Fisher stewarding this Owls program into the next century, and quite a turnaround from last year to this year. They really struggled year one, went on a hot streak after January, and this year, major improvements from the Owls, especially on the offensive end.
No question, and they caught fire in the AAC tournament last year, and I was in the studio for most of those games. They believed. I mean, those guys went at it. But no matter what Adam Miller coaches, he may not ever coach a more famous guy than he coached at Dwayne Wade's fantasy camp when he and Michael Huger, his assistant, coached Jamie Foxx.
How about that?
Yeah, so you can coach the pros and you're still not going to touch Jamie Foxx. That camp had some legends. Jamie Foxx, Kevin Hart, and Adam
who was the best ball player?
I'll give you the story on Kevin Hart. He went to do a concert in New York on a Saturday night, flew back on a private jet, probably landed at 4:30. The playoffs at the camp where it started at 7 a.m., he was playing for Eric Spoelstra in the camp. He got 32 points in a playoff game.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart, the Kevin Hart.
Philadelphia's own.
Philadelphia's own.
How about that? A one-man fast break. Jimmy Williams with his first 2 of the night.
And that's what you want. He sometimes turns it over too much, but he's an aggressive player. They need that from Jimmy.
Offensive explosion so far for the Bulls. 56% from the field. Now it's Adam Okoye with the rebound.
Yeah, that was a tired, settled jump shot right there from Shane Dezonie. You don't need that right there. Keep moving it.
The lob, Reynolds couldn't handle it, a little too high. Here's Dezonie. Good hands, but a foul is going to be called on Jimmy Williams.
Good aggressive play, and the intent was good for Reynolds, just a little bit high. But I love the aggressiveness of both teams now, especially if you're Temple right now. 10 minutes in without a guy scoring 26 points a game, 28 in the last 5. You feel good about the way this is going. And Steve Settle III hasn't even really gotten going yet, because he's one of the guys, Rich, that's almost come out maybe trying to do too much out of character right now. Instead of like letting the game come to him, drive it in a straight line, be ready to knock down a 3. Don't try to take tough jumpers.
Dezonie cans the first. He's 4 of 5 so far from the stripe. A full slate of college basketball on Saturday, highlighted by Janai Broom and #1 Auburn, hosting 6th-ranked Florida at 4 Eastern on ESPN2. Then a sonic blockbuster as we welcome back the legend, Dickie V, on the call. Cooper Flagg and 2nd-ranked Duke taking on Chase Hunter and Clemson at 6:30 on ESPN. Both games available on the ESPN app.
That will be a heck of a day. Walter Clayton Jr. did not play for Florida against Vanderbilt, but one of the reasons they're so good is they've got another guard in Denzel Aberdeen that could start for probably, I'd say, 75–80% of the high major programs in the country. And he stepped right in and played very well for Florida.
What a year it's been in the SEC this year. Here's Williams. Now Adam Okoye. 10 on the timer for the Bulls. Haven't had to call that out too much tonight. A lot of free-flowing offense in this game between Temple and South Florida. 25-23 Bulls lead. A chance to tie or take the lead for the Owls. And they tie, but it's out of bounds. It's going to be a turnover. Check that. That's going to be an offensive foul on Elijah Gray.
He had a better view of it than I did. I didn't have a great view of that. I thought I saw some bully ball back down right there, which is a big part of the game. But he saw the offhand try to clear out.
I asked you this while we were watching USF shoot-around this morning. How much similarities does this offense have to an Amir Abdur-Rahim team from last year?
A lot of the same sets. There's no doubt about that. And I think Ben's put his own stamp on it with some of the actions. But a lot of the screen into a dribble handoff with a roll and a shake and moving the weak side, those were all things that Amir was really, really good at. Amir was a very good set coach, but he really knew how to teach concepts. And I think that's what you see in his team.
Oh, the blow by. And Zion Stanford puts it into another gear. He has 7, and we're tied at 25.
Aiden Tobias and Zion Stanford are doing exactly what you want if you're Adam Miller and that staff without Jamal in the game. Not hunting shots, not forcing shots, and making plays.
Walker, talk about some bully ball, lowers the shoulder, draws the foul. Well, here's an example of how you handle not having 22 points a game on the floor for you.
Absolutely, he's got his eyes up, right? He sets it up, he gets a spin, nice tight spin to his body, uses the backboard to get the layup. That is a really good move because he planted his foot and he kept the spin tight. He didn't show the ball where it could get knocked out of his hands. Really good fundamental finish.
Coming off a 19-point effort against East Carolina. That was an overtime win for the Owls. And Walker misses the first.
Yeah, this is where you got to bend your knees to Corey Walker, get your confidence, right? Let that weight off your shoulder. You're back in there playing. Bend your knees, go up, shoot the ball with confidence.
Corey Walker playing for Rick Barnes at Tennessee before transferring over here. He was suspended indefinitely, hasn't played for the Bulls since December 14th. But with Deontay Green out the rest of the season, you know they'll be relying more on Corey Walker.
Yeah, and they're giving him the chance, and he's being aggressive. Just he's got to feel some confidence when he plays. I know it's hard when you haven't played, but you've been there, done that before.
Monte Berry lost the handle. Loose ball under the basket of the Owls, and USF comes away with it.
Nice net.
Catch and release. Quincy Adamakoya with his second triple of the night.
His shot, I saw his shot in high school and even early at Temple. It is so much better. That shot's not bad. There he is. If there's a better left corner shooter in the country than Steve Settle III, I haven't seen him. He is uncanny in that left corner with his footwork and his ability to knock it down.
Here's Reed, penetrates. Another 3, rolls off this time, and Settle grabs the rebound. He is in many ways a point forward for Adam Fisher.
He is, and he settled in. That's exactly what he needed to see in this game. Instead of trying to hunt those shots early like he did, now he's in the game. He can drive the ball in a straight line. You can put him in a pick and roll. You can throw it back to him. Very good in those areas.
He checked by Stanford, who throws up a near air ball, and Walker comes down with it and leads the break.
This is where at their best. Coming right off that handoff on the left side.
Top of the key, off to the right.
Faded just a little bit. Didn't get his feet down like he normally does.
Tied at 28, counting down to 7 minutes to go. In an entertaining first half and a night we celebrate the late Amir Abdul-Rahim. Love wins tonight in Tampa. There's another 3 from Settle. He has 8, and Temple up by 3.
You do not want to let him get going because once he's made one, that lift is there, that follow through is there. He's very streaky, but right now he's on one of those good streaks.
This game's been played inside a very tight window. This is the largest lead of the night for the Temple Owls on the road. Undefeated 10-0 at home, but just 2-5 away from the Liacouras Center.
These are a little bit too quick right now, these threes. Get some penetration and play inside out, not skip past 3. Get into the paint, create some help.
Stanford. There's that finishing move again from Zion Stanford. He leads the Owls with 9.
Zion looks good on film. When you get around him in person and watch him practice, and plays even stronger. Really uses his body well.
USF needs a bucket. Temple in the midst of an 8-0 run. And they get it from the hot shooting Quincy Adamakoya.
And it wasn't quite the paint for Jaden Reed, but it was in that direction. He gets a skip to the left corner. They make one more to Quincy. That's the kind of threes you want. 3
for 6 already from Adamakoya from distance, a former Temple Owl. And here's Reed, and he throws it down.
Wow, what a great play right there. It's a matter of somebody getting to the floor first.
All 5'10" of Jaden Reed going up and throwing it down.
Absolutely. Great job. Dive on the floor, two-hand loose ball, throw it ahead. Excellent play by Jimmy Williams. Jaden Reed with the flush.
Just moments ago, Amir Abdur-Rahim's family and friends looking on as they named the late Amir Abdur-Rahim as the 2025 American Conference Honorary Coach of the Year. This, of course, after he won it last year in his first season as the head coach of the USF Bulls. An emotionally charged night inside the Yingling Center. And we see his wife Ari there, his brother Sharif Abdur-Rahim, who is now the president of the G League, had a terrific NBA career himself. And everyone here in this building showing their love for the man they called affectionately AAR.
It is. Special guy, it really is. And you can tell he's loved here, and he loved these people back. There's no doubt about that.
So we're under 5.5 to go, a tie ball game, 33 apiece. It's the fourth time that this game has been tied.
This is good action for Temple right here. Come up, they're looking for some indecision on the defense, looking for a slip.
And a shot clock violation. Coach Abdur-Rahim is looking it down from above, he likes that possession.
Yeah, I don't think anybody likes shot clock violations that I was around more in practice when we get him than Amir Abdur-Rahim, so I'm sure he was like that as a head coach.
That's the 5th Temple turnover. And USF has 7 points so far off the previous 4. Let's see if they can cash in again. Here's Adam McCoy. He has 3 threes already tonight. 8 on the timer. Kaysen Jennings gives it up to Williams. Back to Jennings for 3. The 3 ball's been falling tonight for the Bulls, not that time.
Well, it has. They're on top of them right now. They're not creating any help. They're not getting any 2 to guard 1 with dribble penetration, and that's a situation you don't want to stay on one side of the floor. You want to go through the middle, get it reversed, or kick it back out.
Duradola gets into the lane, and he'll go to the line for his efforts.
Bulls foul number 23, Quincy Adam McCoy.
That's going to be Adam McCoy's 2nd foul of the night. Ben Fletcher has to love what he sees from this USF offense so far in the first half. 48% from the field, including 43% from beyond the arc.
And again, so much of what's happening, if it's not break-oriented, it's because they're getting some penetration. They're making that next pass. That's when they're at their best. And they've got so many guys that can get in the paint, Rich, that you don't want to shortchange your offense by settling outside the 3-point line. And at the same time, you want to try to establish, whether it's man or zone, Jamille Reynolds in the middle of that.
A line shift now for Ben Fletcher's Bulls. John Cooper, the head coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning, would be proud of that. 3 new Bulls on the floor. That's a Dickie V,
buddy. That's a Dick Vitale, buddy. Comes and supports the gala.
Yes, he does.
Outstanding coach. It's just incredible to be in the same state. A guy like that does what he does in Tampa.
Outstanding ownership, too.
No question.
Vinnick and company.
This is where you want to get movement. It's getting you a little stagnant right now if you're South Florida. Great look.
Inside, Reynolds. Looked like the ball slipped out of his hands as he went up, but he got fouled nonetheless, and will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, he was fortunate on that. That's when you catch the ball. You don't want to go away from the defense. You want to lower your shoulder without charging, go in towards the rim. And Jamille has a tendency sometimes to shoot too many shots falling away from the basket. And it's not just because of how big he is. It's a very tough shot when you're shying away from that.
6'11", 275, and yet nice touch from the free throw stripe, 74% on the season. And there's the broadcaster jinx that I don't believe in. Start your Super Bowl Sunday with 3 great women's basketball matchups on ESPN and ESPN2. We have Stanford and Louisville at noon on ESPN2, then on ESPN. Second-ranked South Carolina taking on fourth-ranked Texas at 2 p.m. And then sixth-ranked LSU hosting 19th-ranked Tennessee at 4 Eastern. Reynolds promptly goes 0 for 2 from the free throw line, and we remain tied at 33.
That's nothing to do with a jinx, Rich. That's falling back off the line. And he's got to correct that. That's
Thank you for letting me off the hook on that.
Yeah, you're not on it.
Here's Berry for 3. Way off the mark. And Quante Berry, who has been super hot from beyond the arc, is now scoreless in the first half. 19 for 39 coming in his last 13, but Quante Berry is 0 for the field so far, and Adam Fisher and the Temple Owls are on the road and tied with the USF Bulls in Tampa.
Sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all.
Goes on. Goes on.
Get the all-new Nissan Murano at 3.9% APR financing for 36 months.
This sandwich is not just spicy, it's flavorful. Hi, this is Patayo. And this is Elsa. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich is that spicy kick. I really like the marinated chicken breast because the spice comes in at just the right moment. Oh, no. A little thing I love is that cilantro lime sauce. It's a fun blend of zesty and bold. It's highlighting the flavors in the chicken. That's what really makes me happy. Are you gonna eat all your fries?
Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Coming up at the half, the curious case of what's going on with Indiana basketball, all the details at the half. We want to spend the bulk of our time here talking about one Amir Abdul-Rahim.
Yeah, Coach Amir, the impact he had on that community, that university in such a short period of time is absolutely incredible. An amazing, amazing leader.
When his brother Sharif came to Cal, the family moved out to the Bay Area, and Amir came to De La Salle, and my high school coach, Lou Reynolds, said, hey, you're in charge of him. You're his big brother. And I sat there that entire year. We ate lunch together. We talked together. The amazing light that he was then, and then to watch him grow in that coaching career, and part of it with Tom Crean, was absolutely amazing to watch the leader that he was becoming.
Fellas.
Thank you very much, Zubin. And just to lighten the mood a bit, I have it on good authority that Tom Crean, undefeated against Seth Greenberg in this building.
Oh, don't tell him that.
Oh, wait a second. You just told him that, Tom. Who are you kidding? The only reason he knows that, you see on the other end of the court.
First big wins of my life. Look at that. He's yelling he's either yelling at Bob Donato or Gene Monchi right there, and David Zimroth is stepping in to make sure he doesn't get thrown out.
Hey, leave this mic open for a second. You see this right corner?
Program. I mean, we were in this league with John Calipari, Rick Pitino, Bob Huggins, Pat Kennedy, Bobby Lutz, Perry Clark, you name it. I mean, this was high level in the old Conference USA days. Just like that dunk from Jamille Reynolds.
That's right. That's an old school USF.
Hey, Tom, I got a little nervous there, Tom.
We were fortunate to get a win my first year at Marquette. I won't mention that we were down 16 with 15 minutes to go and came back and won. Don't say that back there so they can hear me.
Why do I have a feeling I am never going to hear the end of this from Coach Greenberg?
Are you done, Tom?
We'll see those guys at halftime. We have 3 minutes to go in the first half from Tampa, Florida. It has been a very tightly contested game, and Brandon Stroud, the Kennesaw State transfer, gives USF the lead.
I like the energy right now from South Florida, and this is where Quante Berry's not scoring, but he's the leader tonight. And he can't, not the shot. You're falling back. You're not a straight up jump shooter. You're a get low, step in left to right, don't fade jump shooter. This is where Berry has got to take control as a leader of this team for Adam Miller.
Here's the offense for USF.
Again, playing through the paint. Jaden Reed gets in the paint, makes a great pass to Stroud, drives the left hand, uses the backboard.
Here's the freshman C.J. Brown, just 19 years old.
They're going under his pick and rolls. They're going to try to see if they can get him to shoot a jump shot.
Spin move, rejected by Stanford. Berry still can't find the bottom of the bucket. But how about that follow from the freshman Aiden Tobiasen?
Tobiasen is playing fantastic, Rich. You called it early. And right now, I mean, he's got 8, getting ready to go for 9. It's fantastic. I mean, you get a guy like that in a game like this, who's been good on the court, but hasn't really been a performer when it came to the scoring. All of a sudden tonight, he's feeling really good about his offense.
We've had 3 lead changes tonight. With this free throw, make it 4. Tobiasen can't cash it in.
We could stop the game. I could tell everybody to stay on the line. You're just giving points away by falling off.
Let's get KB Burdett over here. Maybe he can
He's not going to
do us a solid. Under 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game at 37. USF losers of 3 of their last 4, but they are not looking like it tonight. A great feed from Stroud to Knox.
Now, Temple's letting their offense dictate their defense right now. They're scoring with Tobiasen, but you can't play with your hands down in a game like this. That's on Barry. That's on guys like Settle. You got to be more active with your hands.
How about this, Tom? 9 different Bulls in the scoring column already. Here's Stanford. No, met at the rim by the USF defense. And Reynolds over his shoulder.
Right place, right time. Good run, though. Reynolds ran the floor. He didn't hang back. He didn't look for a drag pick and roll. He got up thinking he was going to follow it up. He ends up getting a layup.
Reynolds with 8. Stroud with 8. Adam McCoy with 9. And it's a 4-point USF lead.
That's where Settle's good. Straight line drive, but you got to step into your shot. Can't fade away.
USF doing a good job of walling up. Now here's Knox along the baseline. And another thunderous dunk attempt by Jamille Reynolds, and the big man goes down, and we'll have to earn it at the free throw line.
Easy drive out of that corner, okay? Easy drive. Barry's trying to reach at it. They make the bounce pass. Reynolds drops into the lane, threw that pass into traffic, which is always risky, but Temple is not playing active enough defensively.
We'll step aside for 30 seconds. Come on back for the final 49.
Even when U.S. Women's National Team forward Mallory Swanson isn't on the field, she always makes the perfect play. Thanks to the Bank of America customized cash rewards Visa card, she'll earn 3% cash back on her purchase after choosing the online shopping category.
Sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all in the all-new Nissan Murano.
Ooh, stuffed up again?
So congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Just Sinex, breathe.
What is... Wow.
Sinex, breathe.
Right now, as we come into this play, watch, the hands are down, okay? Everybody's hands are down. Everybody's hands are down. Here's the setup right here, okay? Now, as we drive it, let it run. All right, here comes the pass. Eyes cut right down the lane. Layup. All right, that was too easy. That's like a 1-on-0 layup because there's no pressure. Quante Barry's got his eyes on the pass, loses sight of his cutter.
Big man Reynolds at the line. He missed his first 2 free throws, but he's good on that one, giving him 9 points. In that loss last time out to Florida Atlantic, he went 9 for 10 from the free throw line. Graduate of nearby Lakewood High School in St. Petersburg. 1 for 2. That's 9 points for Reynolds and a 5-point South Florida lead. Barry had the hammer pass picked off by Kobe Knox, another local product from Tampa.
This is where you want to get a great shot. Don't worry about any 2-for-1. Get a good look, and you can't get one much better than that, Rich. Another great cut, another great find by Brandon Stroud.
Stroud to Reynolds, and the lead balloons to 7. A 7-0 Bulls run.
You want to get a good action in a high pick and roll right here. If you're Temple, get something going to the rim for a kick out three. Good play. Still got time if you're South Florida.
Settle gets it.
Oh no!
4
not
seconds
a good play.
left. Picked off. Dezzoni for 3, and it's injured foot. 22.1 points a game, and he's been even better than that in the last 5 games.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal the last 5. There's nobody I don't know has got Cooper Flagg maybe has numbers like he's had in the last 5 games. Really, right now, Quante Berry is the one that misses him the most because he's getting more attention tonight with Mashburn out of the game.
Duradola starts off the second half the way he started the first half with a bucket, and he'll get a chance at a 3-point play.
He did. If you're Adam Miller, like you said, started the game, started the half. Now you've got to find a way to go to him a little bit more rather than letting that ball sit around the perimeter because he's attracting attention down in there. He's got a good feel. He's scoring. He's very good over his left shoulder, and he's gained confidence inside of these moves this game.
And Duradola completes the 3-point play. He has 5, and just like that, it's a 2-point game.
He's usually scoring off offensive rebounds or tips, averaging 2 points a game. That 5 is good because they've come out of moves.
And it's amazing, number 11 in red. Baba Duradola should be a high school senior right now.
Wow.
Reclassed, freshman year going well for Adam Fisher. There's another 3 from Kobe Knox this time, and the 3s keep dropping for the USF Bulls.
Again, South Florida making the next pass, which is so important to their offense.
7 for 15 from 3 for USF.
Good weak side pass. Not a great
turnover by
catch.
Temple. Yeah, here comes Adam McCoya. And the offensive transition works. Back-to-back buckets for 4 and white Kobe Knox.
Exactly. Right now, you have 5 players on the floor for South Florida that can make plays, that can make decisions, pass the ball ahead. 5 guys that can handle. This is tough to handle, tough to deal with.
7-point lead, the largest of the night for USF.
We look at this right now. There's one more pass from Brown to Knox. He's ready to shoot the ball. Gets that foot down, holds his follow through, and the pass ahead to Knox. Shoots it high off the board over the outstretched hand of the defender. Looking for the block shot. Again, that pass travels faster than the dribble. Even though you've got a couple of fast, quick guys with the ball at South Florida in Brown and Reed. Throwing it ahead is important.
Duradola picks up his own miss and puts it back.
He's playing with confidence. I mean, he started the game with 2 points a game. Rich, and he had 2 points in the first few seconds.
Kason Jennings, guarded by another freshman, Tobiasen.
Good job. You got to create angles to get it inside. Good kick back.
Brown for 3. Off to the right, the rebound to Duradola.
That's the one thing that the zone, when they have missed for South Florida, they're not getting nearly enough guys on the offensive glass to try to get the second possession on that missed 3.
So far, 15 assists on 20 made field goals for USF. Does Temple have an answer? Dezzoni says, yes, we do.
Good, strong move. I thought he had to kick out, but he dropped that right shoulder, scored it. Good, powerful move.
That is the first field goal of the night for Shane Dezzoni. His previous 5 points coming from the free throw line.
The zone is not real active with hands. You don't need to settle for 3s when you can pass it, get something inside, and then get it reversed. It's not like it's that hard to get the ball in the middle of the floor or to find the post up.
Here's Berry. Still can't get on track. The offensive putback from Settle, no good. And Reed comes away with it. Tries to keep it inbounds, and they're going to say off Temple, USF basketball right in front of Adam Fisher.
Yeah, Adam's got that look, that incredulous look that he does not agree in the slightest. Oh, that's off South Florida. Yeah, that's off South Florida. There's no doubt about that. Good hustle, not like he meant to, but he touched it last.
I've gotten to know you a little bit through the years when you were outside of coaching, but I know from watching you when you were coaching, you're familiar with that kind of look.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I respect that look. I respect the fact that he didn't get teed up because he was right in front of him. So, absolutely, I say that with all respect.
That is 13 for Jamille Reynolds, coming off a 15-point night against Florida Atlantic.
But he wasn't even close that night, Rich. He took too many shots, and he was coming back from being sick and the suspension. Tonight, he looks more into it. He's aggressive. He's active. He's hustling back like we see defensively.
That shot off the mark. Yeah, Reynolds just 3 for 17 in that game.
You know, taking threes that were out of character, settle shots. And you can't do that. You can't do that ever, but you certainly can't do that on the road against a team like Florida Atlantic.
He has
not
6
tonight.
field goals tonight, and he gets the ball again. Spin move, the big man! Like a dancing bear out there in the paint.
And it's extra special for him because he's doing it against a school that he had a lot of success at.
Twinkle toes, Jamille
look at
Reynolds.
This. Sets it up, the spin. Oh, man, that's beautiful. That's Harlem Globetrotter-like.
Welcome back to the Yuengling Center in Tampa, Florida. Right now, the USF Bulls are winning 53-46 over the Temple Owls. But we all know inside this building tonight, love wins, no matter who ends up with the higher score on the scoreboard. Tonight is a night to celebrate the life and the legacy of the late USF Bulls head basketball coach, Amir Abdur-Rahim, and we are thrilled to be joined by big brother, Shareef Abdur-Rahim, president of the G League, former NBA superstar, but big brother of Amir Abdur-Rahim. What does a night like tonight mean for you, Shareef, and your family?
Well, tonight, and I'd say the past several months of just the overwhelming outreach, love, acknowledgement. University of South Florida, President Law, the AD Mike Kelly, Commissioner Panetti, just the fraternity of coaches. I'm sitting here with Tom, he's been one of the leaders in that, but just the love and support and acknowledgement of Amir and checking in on Ariane and the kids has been overwhelming. And in some ways tonight is a culmination of that, but it's been that way, the past several months. And, on behalf of our family, we're just overwhelmingly thankful.
No, Shareef, we're fortunate, Joni and myself, because we get to see Ari, we get to see Layla, we get to see Lana, we get to see Aiden. Why don't you tell the viewers just how you feel Ari and the kids are holding up over these last few months? Great play.
It was. And, I'd say this, obviously, just unbelievably difficult time. But, Ari's strength, the kids' resilience, I think, inspires all of us, has really made it where we all, have to be strong for them. So they're doing well. And I think as a family, we've done a good job of trying to, stay close to them, but really Ari is the leader in that. She's just been so strong.
Sure.
And we all take, inspiration in that. And, folks like yourself, Tom, you and Joni, and many, many others who've just, just been great to her and the kids.
Well, so much there. Can you imagine, all right, what Amir did? You've been around basketball forever. What Amir did in 1 year's time, turning this South Florida program the way he did. I know you were here for some of it or quite a bit of it. Can you just imagine what he did? It's unbelievable.
Well, the thing that is unbelievable to me is, when you think of it, he had a run of, building up Kennesaw that was 3 or 4 years where he established that program, came here to South Florida in a year. And, you see it through the impact, the award being named after him, the kind of continued support. And you see he won and he did things, but, more so than that, he had an impact on people. And I think that's, really that's a big part of his legacy, and that's what you see today.
We're talking with Shareef Abdur-Rahim, NBA great, president of the G League, big brother of Amir Abdur-Rahim, who we are honoring tonight and every night during this basketball season. And it has to be heartwarming for you from a basketball perspective to see Coach Amir's fingerprints are still all over this basketball team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting there looking at a Brandon Stroud who, was with Amir for 5 years. A Jaden Reed, Kobe Knox, who Amir brought here, Kason Jennings that Amir knew from the time he was a baby. So, without, no doubt, Coach Griff, Fletch, So, I mean, those guys are family. They were his family. They're our family. And, as an older brother, the coolest thing for me and, in all of this is that, Amir kind of grew up in my shadow, and to see him over the past several years and definitely here in South Florida establish his own name, his own legacy, it makes me feel really good. It made me feel really good, and to see that continue on, I'm just really thankful for that.
One more question before we let you go, get back to your family, Sharif. For people who weren't blessed to know Amir as well as, say, Tom Crean has, and certainly you and the family, what's the one thing that people need to know about the life and the legacy of Amir Abdur-Rahim?
He was a connector. He
sure was.
He was a head coach for, 5 years, assistant for, many years. But, I mean, you go in every stop, everywhere he was from the time he was in grade school to here in Tampa, there are people that are connected to him and that he poured into. And it's just been unbelievable. People I didn't know he knew and that have reached out, coaches, men coaches, women coaches, just across the board, friends, people in different, Charleston, South Carolina, College Station, Texas, places, Athens, Georgia, that he, came across. Southeastern Louisiana, Hammond, Louisiana, Murray, Kentucky, all these places that he just had a collection of people that he connected with and stayed in touch with, and, that's who he was. He really, sought a relationship with people and to connect with people.
A fantastic basketball coach, as we all know.
And was a great basketball, and was a really great basketball coach. Really cared about his players.
He was at the top of his game for a 43-year-old man.
And yet, I know I wouldn't get any argument from either of you to say, as great as he was at coaching basketball, an even better person.
Absolutely.
Sharif Abdur-Rahim, thank you so much for spending some time with us. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
CC.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Well, as Coach AAR would probably want us to do, let's talk hoop for the rest of this
I'll tell
game.
you one more of the impact that I was talking to Greg Sankey the other day, the commissioner of the Southeastern Conference, and he told me when Amir was playing at Southeastern Louisiana, he was the commissioner of the Southland and remembered him. So he's just impacted so many people for such a long period of time.
Across multiple states, cities, conferences, all of basketball, remembering Amir Abdur-Rahim. And right now his Bulls have an 8-point lead with 13:10 to go. Trying to break out of a mini slump. They've lost 3 of their last 4, but they're playing some of their best ball of the season tonight. Here's Stanford. Zion Stanford hits the mid-range jumper, and he'll have a chance at a 3-point play.
That was a beautiful shot. He pounded that last dribble. He covered ground on his dribble. Watch as he takes his pull-up. Takes the last row, pound, up, lift, holds his follow-through, draws the contact. That's a hard shot. That's an, outside the paint, tough 2 pull-up, not using the board, but great control. That's one of the reasons this kid's got a really good turnaround jump shot as well.
Zion Stanford had 9 points in the first half. That's his first bucket of the second half.
I saw Sharif and Amir, such privilege to watch those two together. My brother-in-laws, John and Jim Harbaugh, they always reminded me of the two of them. They were each other's best friend, and they could finish each other's sentences, but they were both unbelievably competitive with each other or in their line of work. And it was just awesome to watch Sharif and Amir together when they were together.
For you young heads watching right now, look up Sharif Abdur-Rahim on YouTube. He was a walking bucket.
Second pick in the draft, I believe, right, with Vancouver? I mean, we got some book and all-star forwards in this crowd right now. That's with Sharif Abdur-Rahim and Jamal Mashburn.
And now Elijah Gray, who was whistled for the foul, is screaming on his way back to the bench. And everybody else in this building wants him to be teed up.
Well, if he keeps it going, he's going to get one. And that they're trying to hold him back right now. KB Burdett showed tremendous restraint right there, not giving him that technical. And I credit him, but he's not going to get a second chance.
That's the 4th foul on Elijah Gray. Let's take a look.
Yeah, it's a push, right? It's a push. He extended the arm. It's a push. That's a legit call. He's got to settle in because they need him the last 12 minutes of this game. He's playing well tonight.
Reynolds attacking the paint. It has been an outstanding night for the big man for USF. Jamille Reynolds already with 18. He's going to have a chance to get to 20 if he can make these free throws.
Well, you get to this month of February, and March is right around the corner, and this is it for you. Like, you've got to be the player that you need to be, that you're capable of being, that you've shown you can be. And you've got to treat it like that, and I think he's doing that tonight.
In and out. The picture of inconsistency in his last game, 3 for 17 from the field against FAU, but tonight he has been the picture of efficiency. 18 points in 15 minutes for Jamille Reynolds.
There he goes, to Anthony Edwards, the AE1s right there, or whatever they're called. Those work for him because he's fading on those free throws, and right now he'd be well over 20 if he stayed on the free throw line.
As it is, he's 3 away from his career high. Saved by Dezzoni, nearly an over and back call. Tobiasen fouled, and it's going to go on Kason Jennings, his second.
Good call. The favors have been done. Again, like I said, KB Burdett showed great restraint not making that call on Shane, giving him a technical. But this is where everybody's got to stay emotionally in control, stay connected, stay together. Don't chip away at and start chirping at the referees. Let this game get played out.
Temple inbounds. Here's Stanford with the basketball. Working on a mismatch. He's got the big man guarding him.
See, I don't like that shot. You got Steve Settle at third in the corner. He's ridiculously good from the left side. You got to look at him over there. Don't settle for shooting over a big.
A little bit of a drought for the Bulls. No field goals in their last 3+ minutes.
No angle. Got to create an angle if you're Kason Jennings right there.
And we have a timeout on the floor. 11:54 to go. USF has led for most of this game. They're up 6 on the Temple Owls in the second half. The beautiful Tampa skyline in the distance. We're back after this.
Even when U.S. women's national team forward Mallory Swanson isn't on the field, she always makes the perfect play. Thanks to the Bank of America customized cash rewards Visa card, she'll earn 3% cash back on her purchase after choosing the online shopping category.
Sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Get the all-new Nissan Murano at 3.9% APR financing for 36 months.
Domino's Specialty Chicken. 4 tasty topping combos loaded on tender, juicy chicken. It kind of makes us wonder why we don't call it loaded chicken. Well, okay, now we do. Domino's Loaded Chicken. Specialty chicken is now Domino's Loaded Chicken.
This is an ESPN Sonic blockbuster. Whoa! This is star power from the jump.
Number 2 Duke, Clemson, Saturday on ESPN.
Well, usually I say the ACC, Tom, stands for the All Cooper Conference. But this Saturday, it's going to be the Awesome Coast Conference because Dick Vitale is back in the booth, baby.
Absolutely. I mean, he's my neighbor, and it's so great to see him coming back. In a nutshell, college basketball is not whole if he's not doing games. And thank God that he's healthy now, or getting healthier to be able to do this, because I've never met anybody. I love basketball. I don't come close to him.
And you talk about a hoops junkie, whether he's feeling well or not, he is watching basketball all the time. So Dickie V, we love you, as I refer to him. Richie from New Jersey, living in Florida now.
That's a great crew. I mean, think about that booth. We got Corey Alexander, who's phenomenal. You got Dave O'Brien. That's a big day. I'll be in studio to watch that. Right before Jay Billis and Dan Schulman have Auburn, Florida. That's going to be a heck of a day, Saturday.
7 on the shot clock. And a foul called on USF.
really, this is not a bad way to go about it right now. You're going to be in that bonus in the sense of playing the whole second half that way, and you want that. You want to be able to get this defense set, be able to mix zone and man, get to the foul line. The next foul, they're in the bonus.
Just the first foul on Jamille Reynolds. Catch and release, no good. Offensive rebound, but it's blocked. C.J. Brown with the recovery defense. Here's Williams for three. Jimmy Williams chips in from beyond the arc. Everyone's hitting threes tonight for USF.
Amir was so excited about signing him because of his scoring ability, because of the numbers he put up, and felt he could come in here and score in this league.
There's Keita, the seldom used big man, 7'1" junior out of Guinea.
You know, I loved his work today at the walkthrough. I thought he was locked in. I don't know the young man, but I loved his work. I loved his attention to detail. And that was Adam Miller's biggest thing, attention to detail. There's not attention to detail. That's watching the ball getting beat on a back cut.
Backdoor cut, another dime from Brandon Stroud to Jimmy Williams. Saved out of bounds. Temple basketball and the flush from Stanford.
Still time for Quante Berry. He's hanging in there. It's been a tough night. He's not scoring points, but he is the leader of this group with Jamal Mashburn Jr. out of the game.
The lead is 7 for the Bulls. That one's blocked out of bounds, 16 on the shot clock. Their largest lead of the night has been 9. It's been hanging around this score or this deficit for Temple for most of the night. What's the biggest thing they need to do offensively to get over the hump and get back in this game?
Well, right now, keep getting the ball inside, okay? Go to the bully ball, the breakdown, try to go in and get fouled, but don't force shots. Don't become so isolated or so isolation-oriented that you don't keep driving and kicking. And I would look for, if you're going to get Barry going at some point, especially to his right hand, get some middle pick and roll. Get something going where you set a slip screen, go screen, let him get downhill and try to get to the rim, especially with Jamille out of the game.
It's been balanced scoring for the Bulls. 5 different players with a three-pointer, but now they go to the cup. And Jimmy Williams has 3 straight baskets.
Yeah, that's what Amir recruited. When Ben and Amir went to get him, they went and got a guy that could really score points and score them in bunches. We're seeing it right now.
A JUCO All-American out of the state of Alabama. So Jimmy Williams on a little bit of a heater, Coach.
He really is, and he's very confident scoring the ball, and he's one of those guys, he sees the first one go in, he's going to go. I like the change of direction. The old Steve Smith, for those old school people listening, Michigan State and Atlanta Hawks, Steve Smith, the half hesitation, all right, the half spin, turn it around, go and get it.
Spoken like a former Spartan. Ben Fletcher's club, I don't think it's an understatement or hyperbole to say this could be their best basketball game of the season, at least offensively.
Well, you know, there's no team in the country that's dealing with the emotional challenges that they're dealing with every day, and that's just a fact. And as Coach Fletcher said today, it comes out different ways. Tonight, they're bringing it together. This Temple team is not going away, but they're doing a really good job of staying connected, staying together, and they're getting better shots in the second half.
The last play is going to be under review, and Adam Fisher is already collecting the referees and pleading his case. As it stands, a 9-point USF lead. It's their largest of the night with 9:18 to go. Temple coming in on the heels of back-to-back overtime wins. They are a high-scoring, high-flying team. They are led by Jamal Mashburn, the second best scorer in all of basketball. But tonight, they're trying to win without him. And what makes the fact that Temple's keeping this game close, Coach, even more impressive, no Jamal Mashburn, that's 22 a game, and Quante Berry, one of their next best scorers, is scoreless so far tonight.
Yeah, and he's been playing extremely well. He's a guy averaging 14 points a game. I like what Jamal Mashburn Jr. is doing. He's up at the front of the bench. He's talking to his teammates. I've been watching him when I look up at their bench all night long. He's involved in the game, just like that. Like when you got a guy that's scoring those kind of points and you're not playing in the game, it's so easy to not understand that you are a coach tonight. You have, even though you're not an on-the-floor leader, you have to be a leader on the sideline, and he's doing that.
I mean, they miss everything about Jamal Mashburn. 25 a game and 39 minutes a game in American Conference play coming in.
Well, Richard Pertino, like I said earlier, did such a great job with him, and he helped him understand shot selection and moving the ball, and had so many good guards in New Mexico that he had to be involved with those guys. Took him to the NCAA tournament, but he's made strides here, understanding he has to pass the ball.
And we're going the other way. A Bulls turnover. That's number 5 on the night for USF.
Now, next play right now. This is where the game is hanging in the balance right now, because South Florida is not disjointed, but they're not as connected as they were, and it's so important that they be that way right now. He just took Kason Jennings out, brought Quincy back in. This is where they've got to be strong, because this is a couple possessions away from being a tie game.
Kobe Knox in white back on the floor for Ben Fletcher. Here's Settle. Spin move off the window for Steve Settle III.
Very good play. I mean, he's a long guy, great patience in the post. All right, they brought the double, and he was still there to get the spin. Really important couple of possessions here right now before the 8-minute timeout.
Adam McCoy had a great first half from beyond the arc. Now he flushes it on the Owls defense.
That's a possession, Rich. That's a possession. That gets the crowd back into it.
First bucket of the second half for Quincy Adamakoya, the former Temple Owl. Settle goes up, they wave off the basket, and Steve Settle will go back to the free throw line.
Really good strategy by Temple, but not such good strategy of letting Quincy Adamakoya get to the rim this way. Look at the setup. Puts it in his left hand, explodes off the left foot, two-hand jam. Excellent play.
This USF offense showing a little bit of everything in their repertoire. They're taking it hard to the hole. We've seen a couple of Showtime dunks.
Sure.
And certainly the three-pointers have been dropping for him as well. 8 of them tonight.
That's how Quincy played in high school. He was not the shooter that he is now. And now he's a guy that's getting basically 63% of his points are coming off the three-point line. He's really turned himself into a multiple scorer. He can get in the lane on a pull-up, he can get to the rim, and he can make the threes.
Zion Stanford leading the Owls in scoring with 14. Steve Settle has now matched him with 14. And it's a 68-62 South Florida lead. 8 minutes to go.
Now, this is becoming a bit of a free throw game this early, because that's how Temple sees themselves staying in it. If you're South Florida, you can't settle. That's a tough pass.
Adam McCoy tried to rip away the rebound, and it's a jump ball. It'll be possession out of Temple. Let's take one more look at the two-hand flush off one leg from Quincy Adamakoya.
It's absolutely worth it. He sets it up. He gets the ball in front. Two-hand slam. Thank you, man. Let's go.
Sean and Zubin in the studio. A stunner in women's hoops.
Yeah, after losing 3 of the last 4, Tennessee decides, you know what? Why not knock off UConn? They blitzed the ball screen. They didn't recover in time. 4-point win for the Volunteers.
You just saw St. Mary's. They got the Dons next on ESPN2.
This young man needs to have a much better game than he had against the Gales in their first meeting. He averages 20 points per game, but just shot 1 of 12 when they played a week ago.
Rich?
Thank you, Zub. And since you talked about women's hoops, how about your Super Bowl Sunday with 3 great women's basketball games on ESPN and ESPN2? Stanford and Louisville starts it off at noon Eastern on ESPN2. Then on ESPN, 2nd-ranked South Carolina taking on 4th-ranked Texas. And 6th-ranked LSU hosts 19th-ranked Tennessee at 4 Eastern. Is it me, or does it seem like every weekend top 10, top 5 teams are playing each other in the women's game?
Oh, absolutely. You got Dawn Staley going against Vic Schaefer. Like, I'd pay to go watch those two do a clinic for 2 days. Those are two of the, and not taking anything away from anybody else, those are 2 of the best coaches in any of basketball, any level.
Temple hanging around, lurking, trailing for most of this game. Jamille Reynolds goes to work out of the timeout. He's got 21, one off his career high.
Now, if you're Adam Miller, you got to make a decision if you're going to go double, and you're going to double early, because he gets it on that block that low, you're not stopping that.
Elijah Gray, baseline mid-range.
Elijah Gray, I told you, they're going to need him. That's why it was important that Adam Miller got him settled down. He got him away from the referee. That's what you need on a guy like that.
Here's Kobe Knox. Williams in the corner. Feeds the big man. And he's got a new career high, 23 points for Jamille Reynolds.
But we're seeing the key to the game right now. How are they going to defend Jamille Reynolds the rest of the way? South Florida doesn't have to complicate this. But he does have to get a hand up there. That's exactly where you want to attack, right in the middle at the foul line. They step up early, you go by them. They step up late, you shoot the jump shot on them in the lane.
The lost art, the elbow jump shot.
Absolutely,
Coach.
but if you're going to get zone, you have to have that shot.
Under the basket, that's going to be a USF turnover. They have really made the ball sing tonight. 19 assists for the USF Bulls, but that one a little too tough.
Now, Jamille Reynolds, okay, he's playing hard. He's going to get fatigued. That's where keep feeding him the ball till you get him a sub. He had just scored 2 baskets in a row. They didn't even look at him. That's what the player. That's not a coach's call. That's where the players have to see what's working and go to it.
Hot hand.
Well, they can't guard him. They're playing one-on-one.
Temple down 6. And Steve Settle will go to the line. The foul's going to go on Kobe Knox.
Said it before, I still like the way Temple is attacking in this game. 6-point game with a chance to be 4. They're getting the ball isolated inside. Yeah, he's got a point there. Kobe's got a point there. He really does.
And Temple doing this all without their leading scorer and the second best scorer in the country, Jamal Mashburn, who's sitting this one out with a foot injury.
This is coming down now as we look at these last 5.5 minutes. This is going to come down to who makes the free throws. Most games do, but this one's ready to be that way. It's just too close. And right now, South Florida's not shown that they have the ability tonight to pull away from this, because Temple's trying to get close shots at the rim.
Settle is 8 for 8 from the free throw stripe tonight. He has 16, and the lead has been whittled to 4.
Now again, until they're going to double Reynolds, go in and take your chances inside on a one-on-one.
Williams pulled the string, but a fresh 20 for the Bulls.
You got to look inside, guys. Okay, you've got to look inside. There you go. Now don't force it. You got cutters. Look for a cutter. Here comes a double. Make the kick. Got to be stronger than that.
Good hands by the Owls defense. Can they turn it into offense? Stanford. We have a one-possession ball game in Tampa.
That's the kind of 3 you want. It wasn't there in the corner. They didn't have anything inside. Make 2 passes, get a 3 at the top of the key.
That's the 7th 3 of the night for the Temple Owls. And another turnover. Saved by Dezzoni. And he traveled with the basketball. No whistle? I thought I heard a whistle. Instead, play ball.
Let's go. Right at the park. Let's go.
Tom Crean loves it. The crowd loves it.
I'm not sure the coaches do.
And a timeout called by Ben Fletcher.
That is no harm, no foul right there. Great job right here as the ball gets into the corner, gets to the wing, to the top to Stanford. Wide open 3 at the top, holds his follow through. Beautiful, beautiful 3-point shot.
Alongside Tom Crean, Rich Hollenberg on hand. On the campus of USF, we have a good American Athletic Conference game. And here's some news and notes for those of you who might be relatively new to the conference. The Memphis Tigers are the only American team ranked in the top 25. They are dominating 9-1 in conference play. And they boast PJ Haggerty, who's the 4th leading scorer in America. On Sunday, the 2nd leading scorer in America could be opposite him. Jamal Mashburn sitting out tonight, but could be healthy enough to play on Saturday, and that would be music to the ears of Tim Pernetti, the commissioner of the American Athletic Conference.
I didn't mean to circle Tim. I was trying to circle those 3 guys that are going to play in the NBA someday. Tim Pernetti is a big-time leader. People forget what he did at Rutgers. He was there when they were getting ready to go into the Big Ten. I mean, he brought Greg Schiano in. That guy is a big-time leader, and the American Athletic Conference is very fortunate to have him.
He's on hand tonight as USF celebrates the life of Amir Abdul-Rahim. And Amir would love what he's seeing from the big man, Jamille Reynolds, a career-high 25, and he's 1 rebound shy of a double-double.
Absolutely. Big possession for Temple right here, in the sense of get to that foul line if you do not have an open shot, but there's an open shot.
Gray for 3, way off the mark. Loose ball out of bounds, and the officials say it'll stay Temple basketball. It didn't touch rim, so there's only 11 on the shot clock as we take a timeout with 3:28 to go.
Well, Jamille Reynolds inside gets position. That shot's up. He's moving. He's got position. Right hand tip. Easy.
Sean and Zubin in the studio, a chance to see this guy next.
Looking at all the analytics, the last 10 games, all wins for St. Mary's. They're the most efficient team in college basketball over that stretch.
They're coming up against the Dons when you guys are done.
Thank you, Zubin. We go from the East Coast to the West Coast here on College Basketball Thursday on ESPN. And then coming up Saturday, some huge games. #1 Auburn hosting #6 Florida at 4 Eastern on ESPN2. Then a Sonic blockbuster. Dickie D is back. He's on the call as Cooper Flagg. And 2nd-ranked Duke take on Chase Hunter and Clemson at 6:30 on ESPN. Both games also available on the ESPN app. Jamille Reynolds now making his presence felt on the defensive end. And he's doing push-ups because he let the ball go out of bounds.
Well, it was a good, strong drive coming out of the timeout. I love Adam Miller's choice to attack the rim. I mean, they figured out how they're in this game. And it's not taking ill-advised jump shots and force shots. It's attacking the basket. If it's not there, then it's kicking it out.
And kudos to Adam Fisher, the head coach in his 2nd year in Philadelphia at Temple. They only won 5 league games all of last year. They've already surpassed that this year. They're 6-3, and if they could somehow come back and pull out this game on the road, it'll be just their 3rd road win of the year, but it'll be their 3rd straight win in thrilling fashion, riding a 2-game win streak on the heels of back-to-back overtime wins.
And if you're doing it without the 2nd leading scorer in the nation. And that says a lot. That if they are to win this game, even with where they sit right now, for them to play this way, the players may not realize it yet, but they're getting better inside of this game because of how they've had to attack.
Temple has led for all of 2 minutes in this ball game, and now they are down just 1, coming up on 3 minutes to go.
Nice kick out.
A huge 3. Much needed by Kaysen Jennings, his first field goal of the night.
When he gets his feet set and he plants that left foot, he is a really good shooter.
Now Stanford. He had the last bucket. He has 21 tonight. And the follow by Gray.
It's where you got to be a team rebounding team. You got to be more physical. You got to hit first. You got to see the isolation is on Reynolds, and but don't watch the ball. Get into your man.
C.J. Brown found the seam.
That's what he can do. He is so quick. He can go with either hand. He attacks the rim. The speed is just, it's ridiculous how fast he is. He's like Eric Gaines, who played in this league at UAB with that speed.
Gray had it blocked by Reynolds. And 2 Bulls are still on the defensive end of the floor.
Well, Jamille's giving you everything he has right now, Rich, and then some.
USF, 7 of their last 9 from the field, but the lead is just 4. Under 2 minutes to go. 5 on the shot clock. The freshman, Brown, takes it himself. Maybe ill-advised.
Yeah, that's an empty possession. That's an empty possession. You can't do that when you've got the big seal. Got to get something in the paint if you're not going to throw it in.
No Jamal Mashburn, out with a hurt foot. Quante Berry scoreless in the game, and Temple still within 4. Final minute 34 coming up. Well, if the USF Bulls are going to pull off this win against Temple, it's going to be on the broad shoulders of Jamille Reynolds.
Every time he's been near that basket and not faded away, something good has happened. Goes up with 2 hands, gets the dunk. He is a powerful, powerful young man. Look at this spin. All right, that is a beautiful spin. Then he does the little dance. But that is a guy who's having a career night. They need every one of these points, and he can't be finished yet if you're South Florida.
The first Bull with 25 and 10 since Dominique Jones, and Dominique Jones is in the building tonight. Gray, nice spin move in 2 for 22 in red.
Great answer coming out of the timeout. They missed a shot, but there's Gray using his size, strength, his ability to hit with that shoulder, go up and score it. There you go. Don't force. Here comes the double.
1 minute to go in regulation.
Good choice. Nice choice.
7 on the shot clock. Knox goes baseline and comes away empty. 45 seconds to go. The handoff. We're tied at 79.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time. Everybody's got timeouts. Couple of possessions. Your Temple, you want to bear down. You want to communicate anything you're doing defensively. And if you're South Florida, you do not want to take a challenge shot. Good timeout.
17 on the shot clock. 30.6 to go in regulation. Ben Fletcher calls the timeout. South Florida still has 2 remaining, as does Temple. But lest we forget, the last 2 games have resulted in 2 wins for Temple in overtime.
Great pass by Shane Dezzoni. He was in the Euro, but he didn't have it. He kicks it to Aiden Tobiasen. That's a really unselfish play in a 3-on-2.
Temple coming off those thrilling back-to-back overtime wins. They scored 90-plus in each of those 2 games. I don't know if they're going to get there tonight, Coach, but with 30.6 left, we could be staring at a 3rd straight OT contest for these Temple Owls.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all. And if you're in this position with the way they've scored, Adam Miller did a great job of figuring out what the game was giving him. It was giving him isolations. It was giving him going inside. Bully ball tried to, and I say bully ball with great respect, trying to get things at the rim or to get fouled. And they've really done a good job this second half of staying to that and not taking tough shots.
Temple has 2 timeouts remaining. USF 1. Temple in the double bonus. USF will shoot 1 and 1 on every subsequent Temple foul.
Going to get a roll. See how they play on this.
Brown tried to force feed it to Reynolds. It goes out of bounds with 7 on the shot clock.
Yeah, great read on the weak side of that play. They're running the side pick and roll. They cheat inside. Tough pass.
Coming up next, St. Mary's, San Francisco, but we might have a ways to go in Tampa. Jamille Reynolds called for the offensive foul, and Temple will be shooting free throws at the other end, looking to take the lead.
Yeah, he's in position.
And Temple calls timeout.
He took it right in the chest. It's a good call in my mind.
Temple's last lead was 35-33 with 3:42 to go in the first half. They will be going to the free throw line out of this timeout to try to give themselves the lead over USF with 18.3 to go.
Let's set the table right now. If you're Temple, you go up there with the intent to make, obviously, but you go up there, everybody else is in rebounding position. You're thinking about getting the offensive rebound. If you're up 1 and miss the second, you're kicking it back out. You're trying to force the foul. If they miss the front end, you can go right back up. Great. If not, get it back out. Nothing's there. You have time for another timeout. South Florida is going to have a chance to tie or win the game either way. And that's the most important thing right now. What you can't do if you're South Florida is give up an offensive rebound on a miss, all right, or not get into your press offense. You've got to make sure, because if I'm Temple right now, I'm coming into that three-quarter court pressure, all right, and then matching up man-to-man and switching everything.
If there's a tie-up, it'll be USF basketball, Temple in the double bonus, so they're shooting 2. South Florida in the bonus, so they'll shoot 1 and 1 still. Temple is a team 19 for 25 from the free throw line. There has been a big discrepancy in favor of the Owls from the stripe. That should not come as a surprise to anybody. They're 3rd in the nation in free throws made, 8th in the nation in free throws attempted. 73% as a team are the Temple Owls.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, they're getting 24% of their points from the foul line this season. That is a high number for a team. Not necessarily a high number for an individual player, but that is a really high number for a team.
And Coach, I stand corrected because it was an offensive foul. They will not be shooting free throws, but they will be inbounding under their own basket. So they'll go the full 94 with 18 seconds left to try to pull out an unlikely win on the road in Tampa. Seven seconds left. Stanford's got to go. He's guarded by Reynolds. 3 on the clock for the win. It was blocked by Reynolds, and we're going to overtime. Jamille Reynolds has been a hero on the offensive end, and he plays the hero on the defensive end.
Yeah, and you're South Florida.
The Owls with 21. Jamille Reynolds, a career high 25. Reynolds will jump it up against Steve Settle to start the overtime, and the Bulls come away with it. I don't think it's any secret what you think they should do offensively right now, Coach.
No, but the role's not there. They're doing a great job of giving weak side help when they go into this action to get the high screen and roll with Jamille Reynolds.
8 on the shot clock. Blocked by Settle. Temple's defense rising up in crunch time. Stanford patient in the paint, but he comes up empty.
Yeah, those are not working right now. Make the next pass.
Jennings had it blocked. Here's Brandon Stroud, and he's fouled by Tobiasen.
Again, you get the foul because you went downhill. You're not trying to beat somebody in an isolation one-on-one matchup. You're trying to get downhill, and that creates the contact. In the last 2 possessions for Temple have not been that. You've got to continue to get movement and then get into that rim isolation back down game. But don't just go one-on-one over the big.
Just the 8th Temple team foul, so Brandon Stroud will go to the line and shoot the front end of a 1-and-1. And it touches the front rim, but drops in. And now Jaden Reed checks in, 0 and white. He is the head of the snake for this USF offense, but he has been held in check tonight. Just 5 points, all coming in the first half for 0 and white Jaden Reed. Stroud calmly knocks them both down. He's in double digits with 10, and it's a 2-point USF lead in OT.
Yeah, this is where Quante Neff are going to be in the pressure. This is where he's got to be that leader without Mashburn in the game. Control the offense.
Jamal Mashburn, the nation's 2nd leading scorer, sitting this one out with a foot injury. No whistle. Reed comes away with it. In the corner, Knox for 3. Yes, sir!
But if you're Temple, you've been here all game. That's a great shot, but you've been in this situation all game.
Just like that, USF up 5. And a good answer by 22 in red, Elijah Gray with a baker's dozen.
Good finish. Temple knows what Adam Fisher and his coaching staff want inside of in the half court. They're doing a great job of getting what they want, especially in a play like that. Not when they try to force shots on the drive.
Here's Cason Jennings, 13 in white. Knox just hit the corner three, 7 on the shot clock. Stroud's gonna have to go, and he does, and a pretty touch with the right hand.
Great job, and even though they didn't go through Jamille Reynolds, he had his man sealed. There was no way for the help defender to get there, so Stroud gets the layup with his right hand.
The lead back to 5 for the Bulls. Stanford, and he's going to be fouled by Jamille Reynolds.
Well, as we watch this, there's the throw ahead cross court from Jaden Reed. Attacks, looks like it's going to be a drag pick and roll. Finds Kobe Knox in the corner for the 3. Beautiful play. And Stroud, there's the drive. Reynolds sliding back in. Gets the layup. Beautiful play. Beautiful move.
23rd assist for the USF Bulls. Their season high is 28. It's Zion Stanford at the line. 21 points in regulation, and now he's got 22 with his first point of overtime.
He's aggressive. I mean, he's had one of those. He's grown up right before everybody's eyes tonight with the way that he's attacked. And he's a 30% three-point shooter. He hasn't looked for those, but he has been phenomenal at getting into the lane, looking for isolations. Couple you'd like to have back that missed, but when he lowers that shoulder and gets into that spin move, he's good.
He has 23, 4 for 4 from the free throw line. He leads the Owls in scoring tonight. Here's Stroud. Now Knox, skip pass. Jennings short. And here come the Owls. And a lay-in by Gray. 1-point game, 2 minutes to go in overtime.
Good job. Drag, pick and roll on the side.
Left-handed 3, Stroud short. Loose ball, grabbed by Walker. And left alone, Knox. Off the mark. Fight for the loose ball. And it's right in front of the USF bench. And what's the call by the officials? It's going to be Bulls basketball.
They are scrapping. There is no doubt both of these teams. They're tired, they're spent. Certainly Temple shorthanded, but they are not giving in. This is a great Thursday night American Athletic Conference battle here.
Who wants it most? Both of these teams do, clearly.
No doubt, and they're tired now. They're putting it out there.
Temple shorthanded, coach. No Jamal Mashburn. USF, you could say the same thing. They lost Deontay Green, one of their key cogs for the season, with a foot injury.
And I think bringing Corey Walker in to give Jamille Reynolds just a little bit of a blow. Now they have Reynolds back in. It was a very good coaching move by Ben Fletcher.
1:28 left, 20 on the shot clock. Reed in the paint, and he's fouled by Barrett.
Good drive. That's what you want in a sense. He took the shot, but he had people spaced in the corner. When they attack out of those slots, and that's something Jamal Mashburn is so good at, is driving out of that high slot area, the middle area, and they've missed that tonight, so they've gone to different actions to isolate. But Jaden Reed getting downhill like that, quickness, very good play.
This already the most points scored in an American Conference game by USF since their opening game against Wichita State. Reed hits the first of 2 free throws. Preseason second team All-American Conference. In and out. That one was halfway down. 2-point game. Steve Settle. He can hit it from beyond the arc. We haven't seen it too much tonight, but he shows the inside game.
Yep, quick screen by Elijah Gray. Adam Fisher just letting them play out of the concepts, letting them play out of movement. Steve Settle, the third, finds a layup.
That is a season-high 20 for Steve Settle. Reed, the blow-by, around and out. No whistle. Tied at 87, here comes Temple. About a 17-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock, and Adam Fisher wants to talk it over.
Now, when he's called timeouts before, they've tried to get a little bit of isolation without really moving the defense. You got 23 seconds on this clock. You may get another possession. It is not about taking this thing down to the final seconds. It's about getting the best shot you can get right now. And you want something that gives you either the layup or puts you at the foul line. What you don't want to do is get stagnant and settle for a dribble jump shot with a couple of seconds left.
Well, while we have a timeout on the floor in overtime, let's remind you that Friday night, we have a big-time NBA Friday matchup. Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and the Sixers taking on Cade Cunningham and the Pistons at 7:30 Eastern. Coverage tips with NBA Countdown at 7 o'clock. NBA teams on red alert, and so are the fans all day with the trade deadline upon us. Jimmy Buckets, Jimmy Butler moving to the Golden State Warriors, and obviously everybody at this point knows what some people are saying is the biggest trade in NBA history. Luka Doncic to the Lakers. And he may play on Saturday afternoon. 40 seconds to go.
The Lakers always have a huge ratings boom, but that one might intensify it just a bit more. You don't want to settle if you're Temple.
Stanford and Barry upset on the wing. I don't think Stanford ran the right play. He takes it himself, and he's met at the rim by Reynolds.
That's not a good play. That is not a good play.
Knox can't hit the three. We're still tied. Barry saves it. 15 seconds to go. And it's kicked out of bounds, and Jaden Reed goes sliding after it. But it'll be Temple basketball with 11.2 to go in OT.
Yep, and Adam Fisher's going to use his last timeout to set this up.
Take us inside the huddle, Coach Green.
Well, I think right now with 11 seconds and it's wider, it's out wide, so you could easily, well, he was calling his timeout, he's not doing it. He had motion timeout to the official. Right now with it being taken out a little bit wider, look for some type of cross screen for Elijah Gray, and Barry going in and screening for the screener.
Settle has 20, Stanford with 23. Here's Barry, he's scoreless in this game. For the win, no, Gray, in and out. And the ball goes out of bounds with 1 second left, and it'll be Temple basketball.
Now he's got a timeout. One timeout, you've got time to catch it and shoot it. You've got time, you don't have to tip it, 0.03 and less, you've got to tip it. They can make a catch, they can get a shot. There will really not be a dribble that they will have time to use. It's usually one dribble per second, but in a situation like this, you don't want to risk it. There'll be something at the rim. This is where South Florida has got to have incredible communication. No matter what they run, don't get beat on a slip.
Now the refs are looking at this. Ostensibly, you would think they're looking just to see if the timing is correct, if they need to add any time on the clock, because clearly it will be Temple basketball. USF has lost 3 of their last 4. Temple has won 2 straight, both of those games in overtime, and now they are in their 3rd straight overtime contest.
See, with Reynolds in the game now, you don't want to try to force something necessarily on a throw towards the rim because of his size. But you've got to be ready for a slip, a quick jump shot coming off a curl. They're very, very comfortable curling, especially to either side, ball side, to get that little soft jump shot. But right now, the communication against South Florida has got to be phenomenal, so they don't give up a layup on a slip.
If everyone was healthy, there'd be no question whose hands the ball would be in for Temple.
Yeah,
it would be Jamal Mashburn, second leading scorer in the country, out tonight with an injury to his foot. Instead, Zion Stanford, their sixth man, has stepped up in a big way with 23 points. Steve Settle has 20.
Now, so important, too, along with not getting slipped on any type of screen or seal, you want to have great pressure on the ball. You do not want to let them throw this at the rim. You don't just track the ball with your hands up. You've got to trace the ball and make sure your hands are active here.
So it's Reed, Reynolds, Jennings, Stroud, and Knox on the floor for USF. Settle, Gray, Stanford, Dezzoni, and Quante Berry on for Adam Fisher's Owls. They have added 0.6 on the clock, so 1.6 left, and it's Temple ball under their own basket, tied at 87 in overtime.
You've got time for a dribble if you need it.
And now once they set their offense, Ben Fletcher says, let's talk it over.
Yeah, they're going to run, and he may change it. He's got numerous actions, Adam Fisher does, that he can run out of that box set. So even if he changes the play, he's got actions there. The box sets are some of the best sets to run to disguise what you want to run, because there's so many different ways you can come out with a screen, so many ways you can run a screen the screener.
When you were coaching, what was your pet move in a situation like this?
Well, if I had a leaper and I would put, and they were on the ball with the big, if they have the big in the middle of the floor, and you know that from scouting, it's really, really hard to go over the top unless you just have an extraordinary leaper. In a situation like this, I'm trying to get a cross screen and a reverse pivot seal. Seal, whether it's switch, whether it's man, try to get something at the rim. But if you feel good about the shooting and Zion Stanford can take those shots, Quante Berry, you may curl for that little jump shot. But I would try to get something in a cross screen, a diagonal screen, turn, seal, get the roll back.
Well, you talk about getting the ball down low. You would think Adam Fisher would be prone to doing that. His Temple Owls love shooting three-pointers, but they're only 6 for 18 from 3 tonight.
Absolutely, and all you need is a bucket or a foul. And so you want to make sure now you can be aggressive of yourself, Florida, but don't do something, don't reach, don't grab, don't hold. Just put tremendous pressure on the ball, show your length defensively, and communicate any type of screening action together, whether you're going to switch it or stay with it. I hate switching defensively in a situation like this because of that reason that you can get sealed on a slip.
High drama in Tampa Bay tonight. 87 all with 1.6 to go. The Cardiac Owls find themselves in a very familiar situation. Their third straight overtime contest.
Watch Settle on a slip here. Bring Gray to the corner. Watch Steve Settle slip into the basket, and Quante Berry clearing out on the bottom.
Settle, number 2 in red, has 2 buckets in overtime, 20 on the game. Here he is for the win. Around and out. They said he was out of bounds anyway. Is there any time left on the clock?
My guess is going to be, if there's anything, it's 0.3 if there's anything. Good play. He's the left corner master.
Reviewing the last play.
Going to keep coming down to the same thing. Play in the paint, go to the foul line. Don't settle for jumpers.
And Temple controls the opening tip of the second overtime. Here's Stanford.
I like this matchup.
Now Reynolds has to help. And Reynolds gets his 11th rebound of the night.
They got the switch. Reynolds does a good job of getting his hand up.
Reed drops it. Stroud tried the shovel pass. Now he's got nowhere to go. Somehow finds Reed for 3!
Jaden Reed, when he gets those feet set and doesn't fade on his shot, whether it's catch and shoot or pull up, he is an excellent shooter. Great job of being ready to shoot. Great find by Brandon Stroud.
Second 3 of the night, first field goal since the first half for Jaden Reed. Here's Elijah Gray. He's stepped up in Jamal Mashburn's absence, but he comes up empty there.
Come on, Jamille, we need you in the picture now. Get down here.
Number 2 in white, exhausted in double OT.
He's fighting through it, though.
Yeah, what does he have left in the tank? 10 on the shot clock.
You better roll to that rim and get sealed.
Knox, baseline, yes!
One more pass to one more pass. People around Jamille Reynolds on the roll. Nobody to pick up Kobe Knox on the drive.
14 for Knox.
This is not how you win a double overtime game, Temple. All right, you're open, but this is not what the game is giving you. Got to keep getting movement. You don't want to take a 3 off one pass coming down in this type of game. This is where who can overcome fatigue the most, Rich, is going to figure this out.
Here's Knox. With 6 on the timer. Reed can't hit it. Nice tap to keep it alive by Reynolds. The shovel pass and another dunk by Kobe Knox. High-flying Kobe Knox in double OT.
Yeah, great job ripping through, gets the drive on the closeout. Two-hand dunk. We have had some highlight drives with those two-hand dunks. And look at the cut. They're in the lane. C.J. Brown finds Knox on the cut. Coming out of that high slot top of the key area. Great presence of mind when C.J. Brown picked the ball up to find him. Great cut.
And how about this for the freshman Brown? 10 assists tonight.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
None more valuable than the one we just saw, where he found Kobe Knox on the baseline and Knox did the rest.
It's not over yet if you're South Florida. You can't come down and have empty possessions of 3s or challenge shots, but you don't want to be stagnant. And if you're Temple, you still have plenty of time. You've been here all night. Guarantee that lady right there, Ari Abdul-Rahim, is living and dying with every play tonight, just like she did when her husband was coaching his team. It's incredible the way this entire program is just so connected to the Abdul-Rahim family.
I don't want to speak for Ari, but that look that we just saw, you know who she's thinking of. You know who all of us are thinking of right now.
Amir built a family here, and this is just everybody else with Ben and everybody else that's carrying it out.
First 7 points of double overtime scored by USF. And Elijah Gray finally breaks that.
Good action. They were assertive with the ball, found the roll. Really good, strong play by Temple.
2 minutes to go in double OT. A 5-point USF lead. Stroud lost it. Temple comes away with it. Now Settle lowers the shoulder and draws the foul.
That could have gone either way right there. That could have gone either way. Led with the shoulder. But now, if you're South Florida, you got to move on. And if you're Temple, lock in, make the free throws, get your defense set. Yeah, I'd say they have an argument. They have an argument in South Florida on that move. You're going to call the charge earlier inside on Jamille. That's a player control.
Settle, a 72% free throw shooter, misses the first. He has a season-high 20 in this contest. Again, no Jamal Mashburn for Temple tonight, the nation's second-best scorer. They've had a couple of people step up in his absence. Steve Settle is one of them. But it's a 4-point USF lead.
Yeah, you're going to have 2 more scoring possessions. This is a bonus right here now, if you're South Florida, to get fouled this early in the clock.
So that's the second foul on Settle, and that'll send USF to the free throw line. Has not been a great night for from the stripe for the Bulls. 9 for 17 for Ben Fletcher's crew.
This is Kobe's first trip to the line
It
tonight.
is. 16 points tonight for the junior out of Tampa, and he misses his first. Kobe, a 74% free throw shooter this season. 1 out of 2. 17 for Knox. The lead is 5 for South Florida.
Plenty of time for Adam Fisher and the Temple Owls to get good shots. Plenty of time.
Barry still scoreless in this game. It goes out of bounds, and it's going to be Temple basketball. And now some situational substituting for Adam Fisher as the freshman Aiden Tobiasen will check back in.
Well, he's one of his most aggressive players, so anything, if he's not the shooter, he is certainly a threat to be on the glass. Right now, if you're South Florida, defensively, it's not just about the possession and how you defend it, it's about not allowing a second shot. And you're imploring your team to be communicating on any switches, to make sure you have verticality in the post, and be in help position early if they start to go into an isolation drive, especially off the top of the key.
So as you would expect, the officials are at the scorer's table looking at reviewing this final play as it went out of bounds. And they have confirmed it is Temple basketball. And you see that motion from Ben Fletcher. What's he telling his group when his hands go together like that?
Well, he wants them to be connected, for one thing, and if they're going to switch, they come together and switch. So anything that's you don't want to get slipped in a situation like this, and no matter what action they run, you want to be in help position if they decide they're going to go into an isolation play.
Temple down 5 with the ball, counting down to 1 minute to go in double overtime.
Keep shrinking the floor. Keep shrinking the floor if you're South Florida.
Dezzoni had the mismatch.
Got screened
Found
inside.
the skip pass. Stanford got his own miss off the 3. And he still can't get it to go. Loose ball. And a foul's going to be called. And it's going to be on USF.
Such tough calls for any official because that's a loose ball and there's contact there. You have to make a call in that situation. I mean, it's a loose ball. Everybody's hunting and coming for it and scrapping for it. And he gets the contact from 0. Nobody likes that call. If it's against you, everybody understands if it is not, but those are tough positions for the officials to be in.
C.J. Brown whistled for the foul. That's his 3rd. Tobiasen at the line, and the freshman knocks down the free throw.
Now, if you're South Florida, you block out. You have your press offense set. You know when you want to go in this clock. And if you're Temple, you're going to get a couple more possessions.
In and out. Reynolds, the rebound. Time on the side of the USF Bulls. They have a 4-point lead, 45 seconds to go.
That's where you want a ball screen, and you don't want to have people bringing it up against that type of pressure late in the game like that. Get a screen, force some action. Don't make the guy come up by himself. Another review, though.
And now the officials are reconvening.
Yeah, you can't get this wrong. We're in double overtime now. You'll go straight to the airport for your flight.
KB Burdett, Will Howard, Patrick Evans are officials tonight. So what they're trying to confirm is, did the ball go out of bounds before a 10-second backcourt violation call?
Yeah, and really there's no reason. This is where Jamille Reynolds has got to go up and set the screen. And don't walk the ball up. Get the ball across half court.
Temple Owls, no stranger to close calls. 6 of their 9 games in the American Conference this year have been decided by 2 possessions or fewer. And if you're an Owls fan, you love that stat. Why? Because they're 5-1 in those games.
Yeah,
right now, they find themselves down 4.
There's the rebound. Gets it. Now, go up the floor. They just go up the floor. Use the screen. You don't want to walk it up. You're jogging up in the sense of Stroud. Yeah, it's going to be South Florida ball.
USF 11-11 on the season, 4-5 in American Conference play. They've lost 3 of their last 4. The Temple Owls 14-8 on the year and 6-3 in American play. They've won their last 2, and stop me if you've heard this, in overtime.
Well, now if you're Temple, keep great pressure on the ball, kept pressure on the inbounds pass. South Florida's got to cut hard. They don't. There could be holes in this. You got to set your cut up, sprint.
Enough with the chatty Cathy, guys. Let's play ball.
Absolutely. We'll find out now.
So the officials coming over. Coach Green will get the explanation. A little bit of history tonight for the Temple Owls, one of the storied programs in basketball, one of 7 franchises with over 2,000 wins. This is the first time in program history the Owls have scored 90 or more points in 3 straight games.
Very, very proud. We saw the same thing we saw. They got 1 second to get it in bounds. They can call a timeout. But right now, like we've seen the same thing. There's 1 second to get it across. That's how we reviewed it. That's what they saw. And they've got the angles. But it's still a very much in play action right here for Temple with pressure, denying passes. You want to get all over the basketball.
So essentially they have 1 second to get it across half court.
Yep, or they can call timeout. And he's got, South Florida has 1 timeout left, Temple has 1 timeout left.
So it looks like finally we have things sorted out.
Yeah. You got 2 in the backcourt. You got Jamille Reynolds in the front court. Everybody's matched up. You got to cut hard. They're in a switch game.
Brandon Stroud. And they get it across, and a foul is called.
Temple foul number 1, Zion Stanford. That's his 3rd foul.
3rd foul on Zion Stanford. And that's going to send C.J. Brown, the freshman, to the free throw line.
I like Adam Fisher's strategy on that. Foul right away, lengthen the game. Obviously, South Florida wants to shorten the game. Temple wants to lengthen it. That's not a bad foul at all.
Brown 2 for 2 tonight from the stripe. Make it 3 for 3. The first player Amir Abdul-Rahim signed in the 2023 class. And now 19-year-old C.J. Brown trying to help put this game on ice for USF.
Now, if you are Temple, you do not need a 3. You're down 6. There's plenty of time. You want to get the clock stopped. Attack, get to the rim. I like the pistol action.
Stanford blocked by Reynolds. And a foul immediately. And now the Bulls faithful can taste it.
Yeah, that's it. There's nothing wrong with that play. It was a block shot. If you feel the man coming over to help, you may want to keep the dribble alive. But in that case, he's so under the board. Kick it to the corner. They had Settle coming in behind it. It's a good block by Jamille Reynolds.
What a night it's been for the St. Pete native, Jamille Reynolds.
A do-over on that is you pump fake. Get Reynolds into the air. But he didn't, but credit Reynolds for getting in there, going after the block shot, no foul.
Stroud hits the first free throw. He helped Amir Abdul-Rahim win an Atlantic 10 title at Kennesaw State. He goes 1 for 2.
Still time. Get to the rim, stop the clock.
Dezzoni short. The rebound to Stroud.
Yeah, you
and
can't
another
take the
foul
ball back.
call.
You've got to tuck the ball way stronger than that if you're Shane Dezzoni. Got to go stronger than that. Use your left hand.
That's his second foul.
And now things starting to slip away for Adam Fisher and the Temple Owls, coming off back-to-back overtime wins. They are on the precipice of dropping this game in double overtime to USF.
Yep, you got to credit Adam Fisher. He's playing without the second leading scorer in the country tonight. His team didn't flinch. They figured out they did. You can have a game plan when you take that kind of firepower out of your lineup, but you're going to be adjusting the game plan, and that's exactly what Adam Fisher did. And frankly, to get into a double overtime tonight without that shooting, and to have Quante Berry potentially leaving this game with 0 points.
And how about Brandon Stroud, a 63% free throw shooter, 5 for 6 tonight, on a night when they honor his head coach, Amir Abdur-Rahim.
But a great job by Ben Fletcher. He didn't flinch. The staff didn't flinch. They overcame some tough moments. That's a big, big win for South Florida on an incredibly special night, Rich.
It's USF's first win in overtime in 5 years. Love wins, and so does USF on a night that we celebrate the legacy of Amir Abdur-Rahim, the reigning American Conference